E aí galera, tranquilos? Sejam bem-vindos a mais um vídeo do Brian Jordan. E hoje galera, eu estou trazendo vocês a mais um vídeo do GENSHIN IMPACT. E a gente vai continuar aqui nessa parte da história onde paramos na segunda parte. Já trouxe aqui no canal pra vocês a primeira e a segunda. A primeira foi até ok, que mostrou o início do evento. A segunda foi bem bom, porque a gente teve uma parte de gameplay pra poder jogar. Principalmente o Flame Knight como teste, apesar de eu ter ganhado esse personagem. A gente vai ver como é que é a terceira parte, se ela vai ser boa do que a primeira e a segunda. Qualquer parte da história dos eventos do game, contém a parte 3, sempre é melhor do que a do começo. Mas vamos aqui conversar com o Flame Knight e ver o restante da história.
Hello, Paimon. Hello, traveler.
Is the crown ready?
Yes, we're just waiting for Zuria now. She hasn't arrived yet.
Then let's wait for her a little while. Or actually, maybe we can go find her. It's not too far from here anyway. Didn't she say she just lives on the hill over there?
Hey, traveler, Paimon.
Oh, and speaking of...
Found you two at long last. I'm so glad that you both...
Huh? Why are you here, Miss Delaroche? And what could have happened to us?
What could have happened? That water imp Thelxei, of course. After I gave you that commission the other day, I began to get worried and went asking about the boy that went missing.
We've got it all figured out now. The boy you heard about was just Fremine. Even the missing fish was his fault. Don't worry, we'll help you get the fish back as soon as we're done with this job.
Oh, sorry about that. I've been diving in the area recently.
Huh? What, Fremine? Diving? No, that's not what happened at all. I've heard a completely different account. What I was told is that about a month ago, a child tied a bunch of heavy seashells onto his body and walked into this open stretch of water. He never came back. What could that be if not...
Are you sure?
100% sure. I've confirmed the account with several veteran fishermen I know. The child was only 8 years old. His name was Lescaut. Lescaut de Stray.
Wait, let's go to Stray?
Yeah, that's the name. They say the family took on the name after moving to the city from a place called Stray. Anyway, his mother is a pretty famous art dealer, while his father passed away from an accident many years ago. Well, naturally, his mother was devastated by the incident and fell terribly ill. It's said that she left the court of Fontaine, and no one knows where she's gone.
It can't be, right? Lescaut Destray? Zuria Destray?
I'm sorry, miss. We've got to go check on something right now.
Oh, I see. Well, I just came to make sure that you're both all right. I'll head back then. Please remember to take care.
Aventuras fantásticas de Thelxei, parte 3, Coroa Milagrosa. Essa NPC é bem ingênua quando quer. Mesmo a gente ter falado a verdade pra ela que tudo o que aconteceu é apenas o Flame Knight, mas mesmo assim ela não acredita. E já chegamos aqui no local. Me deparei aqui com um puzzle, mas não vou querer resolver isso ainda. Eu não foco muito no Genshin para resolver puzzles. O que mais foco é conseguir personagens, deixar eles mais fortes e principalmente para progredir a história. Mas puzzles não é muito o meu forte.
Excuse us. Is anyone here? Is this Madame Destray's place?
Who are you? I have a patient here who needs quiet bed rest. Please leave us be unless you have anything urgent to report.
This is the residence of Zuria Destray, and I'm Jala Khan, her family doctor. What did you mean by your question just now? Who else could be my patient?
Your patient should be Zuria's son, right? She told us herself that her son had contracted loneliness syndrome.
No, you're right. Young Master Lescaut did have that illness once upon a time, but well, the young master's no longer with us. And now the Madame has come down with the same illness. Are you her friends, by any chance? Oh. So, when she had requested time to go out over the past few days,
So, if I'm understanding this right, the one who's suffering from uncontrollable delusions is the Madame herself? She believes her son is still alive?
That is correct. When the young master disappeared, she was organizing an art exhibit that she had but since she had to leave the house, she was unable to see her son one last time. That might have been the trigger for her regret. Or perhaps the family's fall into loneliness and grief was inevitable as soon as the old master passed away.
But how could that be? She really looked like she had a handle on everything. Her smile was so lovely, and she even told us to stay optimistic. But you're saying she...
Those actions are proof that she can no longer differentiate between fantasy and reality.
Then all the other things that she told us about her son, were those fake too?
No, those were all real. Although they were all things that happened before the young master left us for good. Madame's time has just never moved forward since his passing.
I see. So after her son left, she created a fantasy world where her son was still with her. She was looking for a way to cure his illness when she ran into us.
She has been in a good mood the past few days, even humming a song when she returned from her stroll. She even began discussing with me the idea of using deliberate guidance to ease the illness. It was all going well, until last night. She spent a whole night staring at the shell the young master left behind, and the words that he had inscribed onto it. Then she broke down once more. I prescribed some sedatives, and she's currently resting.
But then what should we do? How can we help her? There has to be something we can do.
Don't panic, Paimon. Even though this is a devastating piece of news, we must all calm down first. What should we do? I need to think. I need to remember the old house of the hearth and the children who lived in it. Those patients and what their doctors said. Dr. Jalakon, have you seen a picture book? The Madame should have brought it back with her.
Are you thinking about trying the guidance therapy she talked to me about before? It's worth a shot. I'll go get the book.
Yes, this is it. That's right. If what Dr. Jalakon said was true, the past few days have been very helpful to Zuria, so we should complete this journey. We need to show her that her child has found a happy ending in the world of her dreams.
But wouldn't that just make it harder for her to accept reality?
One must first face reality before accepting it. The Madame has been crushed by her feelings of grief and can no longer bring herself to face reality. Our first priority would be to get her out of this state.
Right. Before today, I had thought she wanted to use Thelxei's fantastic adventures to save her son. But now, I think she might need it to save herself. And if we could complete it, we should be able to give her some feeling of inspiration and closure. Maybe those feelings would be enough to give her some courage to face reality again. There's no time to waste. Let's set off right away.
Nossa, cara. A gente descobriu a verdade que aconteceu com a Madame. Todo esse tempo ela tinha problema de saúde, mas ela sempre manteve a cabeça erguida e sendo positiva. E o filho dela ficou desaparecido depois de muitos anos. E nunca se reencontraram. Mas, pra ela, no mundo de fantasia que ela tanto vive, pra ela o filho dela tá vivo, mas na realidade ele não tá com ela. Bom, não sabemos o que acontece entre os NPCs, mas bem que a Hoyoverse podia botar mais em foco de personagens desse tipo de coisa do que nos NPCs. E já chegamos aqui no local. Provavelmente vamos enfrentar mais inimigos. Já passamos por essa porta no segundo capítulo. Olha, No anterior meio que não botei alumínio na equipe, mas eu vou botar agora porque ela é a protagonista. Não tô nem aí se ela é forte ou fraca, o que importa é a importância dela na história. Mas a galera no mundo dos games que joga o Genshin Impact não vê isso, só prefere mais os personagens mais fortes. E os que não são fortes, eles descartam, não joga mais. Até deu aquele papinho de eu aposentei esse personagem. Nossa. O Genshin Impact não é um dos jogos que foi focado em você gostar de apenas de um único personagem. Ele é um jogo que foi criado para você gostar de vários personagens, não apenas de um.
This is the final part of Thelxei's journey, but the most important person is missing.
Everyone, please don't be so down and gloomy. Remember what she told us? If we were to feel troubled, the patient would become anxious as well.
You're right. Paimon needs to smile. If we have to give something to Zuria, it should be our smiles. We have to keep smiling as we finish this adventure. And then she'll be able to recover, right everyone?
Yeah, I'm sure she will.
Oh! Be careful, brave adventurers! Here come the evil monsters that stole the crown! There! Let me see Cyclops! Let's beat them up!
Antes do banner do Neo Violet ser lançado, muita gente até falou que o banner do Neo Violet meio que vendeu um pouquinho menos do que os outros banners que foram lançados. Isso porque muita gente estava guardando só gemas para conseguir pegar a Furina, só porque ela é Arconte. Bom, não é a primeira vez que isso acontece, que a galera faz isso com o banner dos personagens, que é pegar aquele personagem só porque ele é Arconte. Não é a primeira vez não. Fizeram isso com a Raiden Shogun, fizeram isso com o Zhongli, e com a Furina não seria diferente. Bom, eu não sei se isso aconteceu com a mesma coisa com a Nahida, mas deve ter acontecido. É assim o povo no mundo dos games, eles preferem só pegar os personagens que dão interesse grande pra eles, que vão dar mais benefício próprio pra eles, do que os nos outros. Olha, sinceramente, não gosto quando a galera trata os personagens dos jogos dessa maneira. Descarta eles como se fosse lixo, só porque eles não foram projetados como eles queriam tanto. Porque ultimamente você meio que é um produtor de uma empresa, você tenta criar uma coisa pra agradar todo mundo, pra você ganhar dinheiro. As pessoas meio que não vê o lado que a pessoa se esforça tanto pra fazer uma coisa de carinho pro consumidor, mas só que eles veem isso de uma forma tão negativa que não ficam satisfeitos. O mundo dos games meio que parou de deixar de ser uma mera diversão, uma coisa para se divertir e jogar, do que ficar dando notas por jogo de coisa negativa e tal. Muita coisa mudou nesses últimos tempos dos jogos. Sim, é um fato. Jogos evoluíram, jogos teve mais conteúdo do que os anteriores, mas alguns até falam que alguns certos jogos meio que parecem uma DLC do que um jogo novo. Muitos falam isso, até falando isso pro Spider-Man 2, falando isso também pro God of War Ragnarok, não ficaram satisfeitos com o jogo. Olha, eu não joguei nenhum jogo da franquia Spider-Man, nenhum jogo da franquia Spider-Man, da M-Sonic. Mas uma coisa que eu não gostei que fazem na dublagem do Spider-Man é que fazer os personagens que são nossos dubladores brasileiros a falar o nome dos personagens em inglês do que dublado e traduzido em português. Pelo que eu entendi, através do Zangado, ele disse que foi através da exigência da Disney, por causa da marca. O que, na minha opinião, assim como o Zangado, é uma decisão bem idiota, pois a maior parte dos personagens da Marvel tudo traduzir seus nomes. Não faz sentido nenhum ele estar com nomes inglesinhos. Mas já no caso do Genshin Impact, quando os personagens têm algum nome bem um pouquinho estranho, é porque os personagens são de mundo fantasia, não são de mundo moderno. Nomes de cada pessoa de mundo de fantasia e moderno são muito diferentes do que se comparar com a modernidade. É claro que a antiga parte do mundo fantasia vai ter nomes estranhos, outros vai ter nomes muito lendários, outros vai ter nomes muito melhores, entre essas coisas. Mas tô bem curioso como vai ser a próxima Arcote, que vai ser a Arcote Pyro. Principalmente a Creel, que é a líder dos Fatui. Olha, sinceramente os Fatui só querem a gnose para ter o acesso ao reino celestial. Tem muita coisa que tem no Genshin Impact que a gente não sabe ainda. Ou também, outro jogo da Hoyoverse.
I have to go. I made a promise to my friends and I'm already very late.
But, Madame, you're still...
Don't try to stop me. Today's the most important day for treating Thelxei. We'll use the guidance method. Didn't you also say that you'd think it'd work?
I'm not trying to stop you, Madame. It's just... Could you tell me the name of your child?
Dr. Jalacan, how can you forget the name of your own patient? His name is Thelxei. He's the prince of the kingdom of water imps. We will go today to reclaim his crown and attend his coronation ceremony.
I see. Madame, please rest assured, everything is still on schedule. Your friends have already departed to find... Wait, look. They've already returned.
Zuria! Zuria! We've retrieved the crown!
Paimon, everyone, have you really?
Yes, but the coronation ceremony still hasn't taken place, because we felt like you should be the one to preside over it.
Wonderful, how wonderful! Thelxei, my child, are you hearing this? Everything you lost will now come back to you, and soon, very soon, you will never be lonely again.
And the last page of the picture book. It's still waiting for you to illustrate in color.
Right, the picture book. But I don't know what I should put on the last page.
Don't worry, Thelxei and his friends all know what should go on it. Get ready, Zuria! We'll describe everything for you.
Okay.
At last, Thelxei and his friends were able to drive off the final invading monsters and achieve a dashing victory!
The water imps, finally returning to their homes, showered the prince with love and applause as he greeted them. They once again offered their precious shells to the prince and reconstructed the rainbow bridge of old. As he watched the scene unfold, the prince could not help but be touched by its beauty.
Moved by everyone's happiness, the prince stepped onto the rainbow bridge and took a good look at all the friends who had gone on the journey with him. There stood the traveler, Goddess Paimon, Fremine, and... Where's the last person? The prince looked frantically around, but could not find the person he wanted to see most. At that moment, the person suddenly appeared on the other side of the bridge. She walked towards him with a smile and slowly lifted her veil.
The prince could not hold back his tears. He recognized then that the mysterious person that had been by his side the whole time was none other than his mother. Zuria walked across the bridge and placed the crown above the prince's head. She smiled down upon him as she said, "My prince, my king, you shall never, ever need to feel lonely again."
That's the end of the story, Zuria.
Thank you. Thank you all. I am so sorry, my child. Maman should have spent more time with you. Did you hear the story? You'll never have to feel lonely again. Maman loves you too.
What's happening? Is Zuria talking to Thelxei?
Quick, put on my diving helmet. There's a transcription module in it that's compatible with Thelxei's output signals. You should be able to use it to understand what Thelxei...
Maman loves you too.
But I love you more, Maman.
What? Did you see something?
Maman, I'm getting a little sleepy. If it's time for bed, Can you hum a lullaby to me again?
Of course, my dearest child. As long as you want to hear it, Mama will always hum for you.
Thank you, Mammon. Your lullaby has always been my favorite. Now that I've heard it, I can return to my dream and to the kingdom of water imps and...
My poor darling. Please don't forget. I will always love you. My love is greater than the entire distance between here and the kingdom of water imps.
I won't forget, Mammon. And so is my love for you. Greater than the entire distance between here and the kingdom of water imps. Good night, Mammon.
Olha, foi até uma coisa linda de se ver. Bom, como eu disse antes, a Hoyoverse devia botar esse tipo de história mais para os personagens principais do Genshin do que para NPC. NPCs são apenas coisas figurantes nos jogos, não são de tão importância. 3 dias depois, no acampamento do Frame Night.
Traveler, Paimon, you're here.
Fremine, why did you call us in such a hurry? Did you hear something from Zuria? Oh, if it's not good news, Paimon doesn't want to hear it.
Don't worry, it's definitely great news. The Madame came here for a visit just now with her doctor. Color has returned to her cheeks, and she sounded full of energy as well. She said she'd like to return to the court to continue hosting the art exhibit. But this time, she'll work with her doctor to exhibit some picture books related to the illness. Of course, Thelxei's fantastic adventures and the guidance therapy will be included in the exhibit as well. She'd like to use her experience to help others.
That's wonderful! So it wasn't bad news after all.
Mm-hmm. Here, please take this picture book with you. The Madame wanted you to have it. If, at some point in the future, you were to run into someone with similar troubles, she hopes the book would be of use to you.
But this is her son's story, right? Is it really okay to give the book to us?
Don't worry, it's just a copy. She still has the original. It's extremely important to her.
Alright, then there's no problem. It feels good knowing we've contributed to something important. Paimon definitely didn't expect the fantasy adventure to be so useful. Paimon was a little worried about how everything would turn out. After all, fantasy is just fantasy.
Paimon, do you know what the Madame said? She said that at the moment when she placed the crown on Thelxei's head, she felt like she really saw something beautiful. Her child had returned. She also said that was when she was finally able to bid farewell to her son. She felt like at that moment, she was healed by some mystical power, and she was filled with courage from head to toe.
Oh, really? But could that just be another part of her fantasy?
Perhaps. But if fantasy is just fantasy, and the fantasy world is not real, then how could it still grant us these powers that we can continue to use in the real world?
But what else could it be?
A descent of the fairy tale world into the real world. At that time, the wondrous fairy tale temporarily became reality and influenced real things in our world. That has to be what happened. You saw it too, didn't you?
What? That can't be what happened, right? There's just no way. Wouldn't it be like a miracle if that really happened?
Yes, I suppose that would be a miracle. I hope that everyone who's found themselves in a dark place would be able to see something beautiful.
E terminamos a nossa parte da história do evento. Não temos mais nada para trazer. Já finalizamos. Agora o que nos resta é só esperar os próximos eventos do jogo, se vai ter uma historinha, ou se vão pensar em deixar a próxima saga do Genshin para ano que vem, já que a saga de Fontaine foi lançada nesse final do ano, nesses últimos meses. Então acho que eles vão deixar a próxima saga do Genshin, que vai ser a região de Pardo, para ano que vem. Até que entendo porque a Hoyoverse demora muito para trazer as sagas principais do Genshin para a história, para a gente poder ver mais sobre os personagens. Isso porque criar uma história tão profunda e boa que eles tanto fazem no Genshin ao longo dos anos, desde que foi lançado, é muito bem criativa, porque eles têm bastante tempo para poder fazer isso e conseguem entregar um produto muito melhor para as histórias. Tem pessoas que querem que a Hoyoverse bota um skill de você pular as cutscenes dos diálogos dos personagens, só porque você não quer ficar vendo. Olha, eu não gosto quando a galera pensa dessa maneira. Porque tem pessoas que querem pular tanto as histórias porque são preguiçosos pra querer ler. Tem alguns até falam que quando vê a história do Genshin Impact dá sono. Ué, eu faço lives do jogo aqui no canal, eu vejo a história o tempo todo, da saga inteira. Eu não tenho sono nenhum, cara. Eu não tenho sono nenhum nenhuma parte da história no momento que eu vejo na saga do Genshin. Eu fico tão concentrado e curioso pra ver a história. Mas o Genshin Impact é um dos jogos que tem muita coisa pra se mostrar, muita coisa misteriosa sobre Teyvat, principalmente sobre esse tal de Reino Celestial, principalmente os deuses que tanto fizeram no Reino de Teyvat. Bom galera, esse foi o vídeo, espero que vocês tenham gostado e se inscreve no canal, ative o sininho para ver os próximos vídeos, e deixe seu like e fica por dentro do crescimento dos jogos. E bora galera, fui!